The Gwanghwamun Square is to the Korean people a channel for communication and expressions of intent. It is also the historical and cultural center of South Korea, an important place for the people together, meet and share opinions. As such, the square has become a symbol of democracy and a space of harmony throughout the modern period of history. When the Joseon dynasty was established back in 1395, the prime minister of the time, Jang Taejin, built Yeokjo Street in front of the gates of Gyeongbok Palace, under the orders of the then king, Lee Sung-ye. Over time, Gwanghwamun, naturally, became the Gate of Light, a place to communicate between the people and the king, as it was located between the Gyeongbok Palace and the Yeokjo Street, hence the name Gwanghwamun. Both the palace and the gate was destroyed by fire during Imjin Wars, otherwise known as the Japanese invasion of Korea of 1452, and restored afterwards. However, after the annexation of Korea by Japan in 1910, Japan then established the Governor-General of Korea with the Government General Building built between the Gyeongbok Palace and Gwanghwamun to try and extinguish both the Korean national spirit and sense of self-reliance. In 1995, the Government General of Korea building was demolished, and the site was properly restored to its original form through historical research. Gwanghwamun still remains as both a symbol and a central space for the Korean people. Today, we will deliver the scene of Gwanghwamun Square to you by going through the course marked on the map. The 1.7-kilometer street scene of Gwanghwamun Square to Namdaemun was captured. The street is lined up with important buildings such as the Gwanghwamun, the U.S. Embassy, government buildings such as Seoul City Hall, Doksu Palace, and 40th Anniversary Monument of Gyeong's Enthronement, otherwise known as Chingneong Monument, as well as various commercial buildings. In 2022, the Seoul Metropolitan Government rebuilt the square as a symbolic space, which aims to combine 6 centuries of history and to provide ecological environment. Within the square, you can enjoy the garden in every 4 seasons, and can follow the history of figures such as King Sejong the Great and Admiral Yu Sung-sin. Sightseeing around Gwanghwamun Square and the surrounding environments have made me think about the overall economic growth of South Korea, which, despite being the poorest country at one time after both the Japanese occupation and the Korean War, has managed to become an economic powerhouse thanks to achievements such as the miracle of Han River. There is no denial that the diligence and strong spirit of the Korean people contributed to the driving force behind said economic development. What comes to mind is the quote said by former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's grandfather, Nobuyuki Abe, as the last governor of Japanese Korea. "Although we lost the war, Sen did not win. I guarantee it will take another century for the Koreans to come to their senses and regain their old glory. Japan has planted colonial education that is scarier than guns and cannons to Koreans. The Koreans will live as slaves by alienating each other. And I, Nobuyuki Abe, will come back again." Another quote which came to mind was when the chairman of Cuba's National Council, Fidel Castro, visited South Korea in August 2006. He visited the construction site of Hyundai Heavy Industries and said in reference to Korea, "Learn the diligence of the Koreans. They are faster and more reliable than Japan." These sayings bring about mixed feelings personally, but one thing is sure: Korea is no longer a young nation. So why did Korea become one of the few countries to have become wealthy, despite the colonial past? There are a few reasons why this was possible in my opinion. The first is the centuries of cultural heritage. The second would be the foundational efforts by Park Chung-hee, in his insight to prepare for future economic foundations. The third is the overall intelligence of Koreans, and the fourth is the active embracing of the belief that things could be done through spiritual reforms and market economy after the Korean War. However, it is regrettable that the streets, architecture, and the culture of the Joseon dynasty were not restored well due to rapid industrialization after the Korean War, as many of the historical sites are now occupied by high-rise buildings. I have a personal wish that the old houses and architecture of Joseon, from Gwanghwamun Square to Namdaemun at least, would be reproduced as they were. Despite all that, I believe that the Korean people can overcome any difficulties with diligence and mental strength. Thanks.